And we are live. We are live. We are here. We are ready. We're not live. This is an actual recording. Okay. This is a recording. We are not live. Okay. We're not live on Facebook. We're not live on YouTube. We're not live on Bebo. We are not live on these sites. Okay. MySpace. We are not live on them. Okay. We are not live. I repeat, we are not live. This is a recording. I've turned the camera. Man, welcome to the Daily Thinker Podcast. My name is Gusto. I am your host, literally the only podcast in the world that talks about faith, sports, theology, and apologetics all in one podcast. I love it. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about what we are going to talk about today. Okay, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready because when I saw this post, it was crazy. It was literally crazy. Transformation Church gave away $3.5 million to organizations, churches, paid off a couple of debt. Okay, y'all can pay off my debt if y'all want to. Hey, I'm here. I'm open to it. Get at me, Mike Todd. If you're trying to pay my debt, I'll get it. Add me, Transformation Church. Okay, and cut the check. I'll take it. I will take it, though, for real. Seriously, I'll take it. But anyway, Transformation Church gave away $3.5 million, which is amazing. This is not the first time that a church gave away $3.5 million or gave away billions or millions of dollars. This is not the first time, man. Churches give away money all the time. It's just about the church and the pastor that's attached to the church that gave away this much money, because we all know how people talk about Mike Todd. He preaches heresy. He's a false prophet. He cares about money. He cares about fashion. He drives nice cars. He wears Yeezys, and he wears expensive clothing and all of this. So he's not a real, genuine pastor. Okay, he's not a John Piper. He's not a John MacArthur. So you know what? He's a false teacher. He's a false teacher. He's a false teacher. Which can be nothing but far from the truth. And that's a lot of things that people say about him. Oh, he doesn't preach hard on the sin issues, about sin, hell, death, judgment. He don't preach hard about those things. And I'm like, hey, man, it's dang if you do in this world, and it's dang if you don't. Okay, that's just the way it is. That's the way it always been. Okay, Jesus turned water into wine. They still gonna try to kill him. I know they remember him turning that water into wine. How can you forget that? I know they remember him feeding the 5,000. Okay. And all the other stuff that couldn't eat, all the books in the world couldn't contain, like John talked about. Literally, all the things that Christ did, all the books in the world couldn't contain them. That's just amazing. Oh, my goodness, he did a lot of stuff. Oh, man. Okay, I got sidetracked. Whew, but it was by the good Lord. But anyway, Mike Todd, Transformation Church, amazing. Kudos to you. I am happy. You need a hand clap. I would give you guys a hand clap, but most of all, give the Lord a thanks and a praise. Okay. This y'all just okay. Oh, that was just amazing, man.
Oh, come on!
I know that sounds like a mad scream, but that's like the come on. Like, okay, I love it. I love the way you all gave this past Sunday. It was great. And a lot of people, some people are mad. Some people are calling Mike Todd, Transformation Church, hypocrites, boastful Pharisees, because they're letting people know what their left hand is doing. You know what Jesus said in Matthew 6, Matthew 6, verse 3. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And Mike Todd is letting his left hand, his right hand, his foot, his head, his ear, his kneecaps, and his toe know what he's doing. He's letting the whole social media, all 1 million of his followers on Instagram, know what he is doing by giving. Mike Todd, why can you just give that 3.5 million away? Transformation Church, listen to me, Transformation Church. Why couldn't you just keep that 3.5 $3.5 million to yourself and not tell anybody? Why did you have to even live stream your church service when you knew you were giving away $3.5 million? You should have just cut the cameras on the live stream, giving away $3.5 million. Why did you do that, Transformation Church? And that's how some people are acting. And it's foolish. It's stupid. It's stupid in my opinion, okay? It's stupid. It's just not right. Okay. It's just not right at all. And let's go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 3. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, okay, that's going on to prayer, but you get the gist of it. Jesus is saying, what you do, let it be done in secret. As he was talking about prayer, you go into your room, close the door, and all that. Don't pray in front of the streets or in the synagogues, all that. Like, do stuff in secret so people won't know it, okay? Do stuff in secret so people won't know it. And so since Mike Todd didn't give away $3.5 million in Transformation Church, and see, I hope you caught what I said. I said Mike Todd gave away $3.5 million. He did not give away $3.5 million. Transformation Church gave away $3.5 million. So when we going to talk about somebody, let's say that Transformation Church gave away $3.5 million, not Mike Todd, because Mike Todd did not give away $3.5 million, but Transformation Church did as a whole. So kudos to them. Okay, so they should have just did this like a whole bunch of other services. Just if her services give away big amounts of money like that, they don't let other people know. But how many churches do we know with people or a pastor like Mike Todd? Not trying to say Mike Todd is a perfect pastor, because nobody is perfect at all. But what I am trying to say, what type of pastor, what other pastor do you know? I know there's a couple of other pastors out there. What type of pastor do you know who have influence, social influence, social media influence? Okay, we live in a social media world. Social media matters. People go on social media literally more than they watch TV or do anything else. People are attached to their phones day in and day out. Almost every single minute, people can't put down those phones. So to me, it was imperative. It was important that Mike Todd go to Instagram, go to his page and post that and let people know that, hey, today we gave away $3.5 million and you go do the same. Not saying that you got $3.5 million to give away, because I don't. If I did, hey, maybe if I was in that ball range, hey, I'd do something like that, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'll definitely do something like that. But hey, you got to level up. You got to level up to give like that, okay? And that's the encouragement. That's the side that he's showing. He is not a Pharisee. There's no correlation of Matthew 6:3 and Mike Todd posting on his Instagram page saying that he gave away $3.5 million. There's no correlation to that. So how can you come out and say that Mike Todd is a hypocrite, heresy, and a Pharisee? Okay, all in one sentence, that $3.5 million is a heresy. Tell me somewhere we're giving away $3.5 million to churches, organizations, that's giving people cars is heresy. It sounds like the book of Acts, the first century church, where people love the first century church. And this is some first century church type stuff. Okay, with the book of Acts, and like this, how they gave, this, how they was in community with one another and all this. I don't know what goes on in their church, but hey, they look fine to me from the outside looking in, but not perfect. So Jesus here is talking about literally your intentions of your heart. Can we remember that Jesus is talking about the intentions of your heart when it comes to giving, when it comes to prayer, when it comes to fasting? Like Jesus, he is not saying when you give, be quiet. He is not saying if Transformation Church gives away $3.5 million, shut up and don't let nobody know. Okay, keep it to yourself. Don't let nobody know. He is not saying that. No, if there's no ifs, ands, or buts, no question about it. Jesus is not saying that in Matthew chapter 6, verse 3, not at all. Okay, and that's the same thing when it goes with fasting and praying. So Jesus says, go to your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Okay, so is Jesus saying that I can't pray nowhere at all when people are around because people going to look at me and call me a Pharisee? No, it's about the intentions of the heart. Are you going to give money away so people can call you such a great giver and a great person? Or are you literally giving money away because people need it and you are generous and you want to help? So before we try to judge a pastor and what he's doing, first of all, a pastor that might not be your pastor, be careful, okay? Be careful how you judge these pastors, and especially these so-called celebrity pastors, these pastors with big followings. Be careful how you judge them. Okay, let's be extremely careful, because it's getting kind of toxic when you see some church, okay, a church give away $3.5 million and people are still mad. When they don't give away money, people are mad. When they do give away money, people call them a Pharisee. And if they give away money, don't show it, people just come call them a Pharisee because they don't know they're giving. Okay? But now Jesus is testing the intentions of the man's heart, of your heart, man. It's about the heart. That's what it's about. That's what makes it so complex and so hard, because Jesus discusses the heart, because the heart of man, it fails, it's wicked, it's rotten, it's broken, and it needs healing. Okay? It needs healing ASAP. That's why he came and died. So he's not talking about when you give, be quiet. He's talking about the intentions of your heart. Okay? The intentions of your heart when you're fasting. When you're fasting and telling everybody that you fasted, are you saying that so you can look more spiritual? Or are you having a conversation with somebody to say, hey, bro, I'm fasting and I can't eat that, blah, blah, blah. And, hey, you might give them some encouragement. They might say, hey, I might need to fast too. Or you can ask them to join you on a fast. Just like Mike Todd said, hey, he encouraged you. He asked you to join in giving. Go do the same. So that $5 that you got in your pocket, it might be $3.5 million to somebody on the street. Give it. Give it. Toss up that little $5, man. It ain't going to hurt. So that's the encouragement that he's giving. And Paul did the same thing to the Macedonians. The same exact thing to the Macedonians, man. The Macedonian church was poor. They were poor now. And Paul went to them. They gave, man. They gave in their and they're low. And they're low, man. I'm talking about low. They gave in their low, poor, and they gave generously, more than what he expected. They outdid themselves. And you have the Corinthians, on the other hand, which they gave good at a moment, but now Paul is challenging them. Hey, if the Macedonian church can give like this, man, come on, man, y'all got to be able to give too, man. Y'all literally got to be able to give that bread up too, okay? Give up that bread, man. Toss a Benjamin out there, man. Toss about 2 or 3 of them out there. About 4, 5, 6, 8 of them out there. Okay, you can do that. It would be very helpful, even though they didn't have Benjamins back then, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So that's Paul. He's challenging them. And so if we take Matthew chapter 6, verse 3 in that context and say, hey, since Paul told the Corinthians about the Macedonians, Paul, you are in heresy, man. You are in some deep heresy, Paul, for real. Because Jesus said, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And now you're letting the church of Corinth know what the Macedonians are doing, man. You're boasting. Now the Macedonians have received their reward. Now the Corinthians are clapping for them. They're happy for them. They're boasting about them now. Because of you, Paul, because you told them just to encourage us. You should have just been quiet and not even encourage us so we can just not give how we're supposed to give. No, that's not how it goes. So Jesus is not saying when you give, be quiet. Okay? When he say when you give, don't do it boastfully. Do it out of generosity. Okay? Literally out of generosity. Don't go do it to go get 1 billion, gazillion views on YouTube. Do it because that person needs it. If you want to record it and encourage somebody and say, hey, look what I did today. And that might encourage a brother or sister to literally give. So You don't have to keep your giving in secret. What you have to do is check your heart on how you are giving so you can do it correctly. Okay? So you can do it correctly. That's the way it goes. Okay? That's the way it needs to be. But sometimes it's hard for us to find that balance in that, because we look at it and be like, oh, man, I got to be quiet, and make ourselves feel better and feel like we're more humble because nobody knows. That's not making you more humble because nobody knows. If you want to tell somebody so you can encourage them to give, that is a blessing. That is good. That is good. That is perfect if you want to do something like that to encourage somebody to give. That's amazing. That's the way it should be done. So let's stop taking these things out of context, okay? And we all know that we see churches that are huge and big and have millions of dollars and all of this. And it all goes back to like people even hating on Mike Todd and saying that he's dressed nice, he drives nice cars, he does this and does that. There's nothing wrong with a pastor driving a nice car. There's nothing wrong with a pastor doing this and doing that. Every other calling or profession, whatever you want to call it, how we call it nowadays. I wouldn't really call it a profession, but nowadays people will call it a profession. Whatever your profession is, you can exceed, you can excel, you can drive fancy cars and do all this. You can be a movie star and do all this and do that. But when you're a pastor, you have to be poor. You can't do nothing. You can't have a shoe collection. You can't have nice cars. You can't like things. You can't like tech. Like, you just have to be a pastor, be poor, look poor, and do poor. Okay, then if you do poor, how are you going to give 3.5 million, 10 million, 20 million to really help out a community? How are you going to do that if you poor? Let me know. Jesus is not calling nobody to be poor, like just like that. And this is no prosperity gospel at all. That's just biblical truth. Okay, he doesn't want us to be poor and be stupid with our finances, as I can be sometimes, and I'm definitely working on that. But he doesn't want us to do that. He legit does not want us to do that. So until we get an understanding like that, I think we will stop judging other pastors, especially big pastors that are in the limelight. They give in miraculous ways and amazing ways like they did at Transformation Church. And I think we'll be much better. We'll definitely be much better. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, like I said, big churches, you have these huge churches, okay? These huge churches and these pastors who make a buku load of money. And Paul was talking to Timothy, and he was saying, I command those who are rich in this present world, okay? There's nothing wrong with being rich. I command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Okay, God provides everything for our enjoyment, okay? If you're rich, don't put your hope in riches, in the stock market and all this, because those things are so uncertain. Life is uncertain in general, as we learned in 2020. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. He is talking about the rich, to do good, to be willing to share. And that's what we love to see from these big churches, to be willing to share and give, because that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. We need to be rejoicing over this. We need to be encouraged by this. Like, this what these large churches and churches, local churches, small churches should be doing in general. If you can, like, that's what we need to do. And that should be a lot of encouragement to people and say, hey, I need to level up. It was encouragement to me. Say, hey, I need to level up so I can be able to give that much to organizations, churches, whatever it may be, just to be able to give that much, not just as a single person, but whatever I'm doing. You need to level up. So he's commanding the rich to do good, okay? To be rich in good deeds. And it was a good deed, okay? It was just a good deed. It wasn't something that he just wanted. I feel like he just wanted to boast about and let the whole world know. So he said, hey, look at me. I'm Mike Todd. I posted that we gave away this much. And I am the man now, okay? I am the man. And this is my territory. This is my territory. This is me. Okay. No, he's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's very, very, to me, humble in the matter. It's humble to even post something like that, in my opinion. It's definitely humble to post something like that. I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot. It was much encouragement from that. And so let's be mindful of what we're doing. Okay? Let's be mindful of what we're doing as the body of Christ and how we are literally judging people who we don't know, pastors, judging pastors who are not our pastors, and things in general like that. We just need to fix some of those things up, and I think we'll be fine. But this giving right here is just, man, it's freaking amazing. Not the first time that a church gave this much ever. It's not the most that a church ever gave. Churches have donated billions of dollars just in general, probably over this year, probably in the span of months. Churches have donated billions and billions of dollars. So it's nothing new. It's just something to rejoice about. But just because Mike Todd's name is attached to it and you see people say don't follow him, he's a false prophet, he's this, he's that, he's not the guy you need to be listening to. We get a little skeptical when he does something like this and where his church does something like this. And we might start to question the intentions of his heart. And we have to stop questioning the intentions of people's hearts because we don't know the intention of people's hearts at all. Like, we have to stop doing that. It's very dangerous. It's very toxic. And it can really mess up relationships. It can make Christians have a bad name, okay? Because we're judging people off thinking their heart is like that when you don't even know your own heart. So how are you going to know the next person's heart? It's just wild. It is wild if you put things in perspective like that. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just a man talking on the camera, man. I'm just saying. You can agree with it. You cannot agree with it. But just let me know in the comments below if you do agree with it or don't agree with it. Should Mike Todd, was it good for him to take it to social media to show people, hey, we gave away $3.5 million, or was it bad for him to take it to people and show people, hey, we gave away $3.5 million? Please let us know in the comments below. If you listen to the podcast, make sure you rate a review on this short, quick episode, man. And I hope you enjoyed it, man. Let's get out there and give in a generous fashion. Okay, let's be willing to give. Let's be willing to do good, especially to those who are a part of the family of believers. And we are out at the Thinker, man. Let's go. Hey, you can cut that camera now. You can cut the lights off, and I'm just about to walk out. Bye. I said cut that camera.